Hello, friends, and welcome to Time Capsule here on the Games Done Quick Hotfix. It is the show where we travel back in time to your favorite years in gaming and showcase awesome speedruns of games released in the same year. I am your host, Smooth Operative. Tonight we are checking out two action-packed games from 2005 with speedruns of James Bond 007 From Russia with Love. Yes, they did make a video game. And later, Stubbs the Zombie and Rebel Without a Cause. But before we begin, let's cover the announcements. First off, GDQX will be live from TwitchCon October 20th through the 22nd in Las Vegas, Nevada. The event will happen on the Games Done Quick stage as well as streamed on our live channel here on Twitch, so you don't miss out on any of the action. You can use the command !GDQX in our Twitch chat to find out more information and to check out the games list, which is out. So do that if you're interested. Also, we are very happy to announce that Awesome Games Done Quick 2024 will be live in person January 14th through the 21st in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Speedrun submissions close on September 10th, which is just a couple of days away, so get those in, and volunteer submissions close on September 18th. You can use the command !AGDQ in our Twitch chat for more information, and if you're interested in volunteering for camera, check-in, tech, or any of our other volunteer positions, be sure to apply even if you don't have any experience. You gotta start somewhere, right? So how about we start the show? Please welcome Sergeant Silent for a speedrun of 007 From Russia with Love. How are you doing, Sarge?
Hello, I'm doing quite good. Happy to be here. Very excited to show this off. I shared this with the 007 community, so there's a couple people from there who I assume have never seen this. They're also happy to see it here. I'm very excited.
Awesome. Yes, me too. So tell us about the plan.
Yeah. Basically, we are gonna run this game as quickly as possible. In fact, we're not gonna get started yet, but I'll show a little manipulation here. If we load into the first level, and then instead of actually watching or playing the level, we can then back out. I now save a free 5 seconds over watching that cutscene again. So that's how we're gonna get started.
Okay, that works for me. What about you, chat?
All right. And I am good whenever we are.
Yeah, feel free to give us the countdown, Sarge. We're ready.
All right. Time is going to start once I select this top option, which is basically easy mode. So we're going to get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Let's go. Good luck.
Thank you. Now, this is a short game at 45 minutes. However, it's very action-filled. I'm going to use this term incorrectly, but we're going to call it a run and gunner. And you're going to see why, because a lot of this, Bond is an absolute tank on this difficulty. And the unfortunate thing about running this is you immediately get put in what is probably the worst room, the second worst room in the game, right out the door. It immediately opens into this. That's unfortunate. So what I was going for there was when an enemy is on a rope coming down from a rooftop, if you hit them with your gun, and you'll notice that I'm waiting for essentially the gun to like zoom scope in. That's where I'm going to refer to that as like Bond vision or just Bond scope. I don't know what it's actually called. When you do that, your aim essentially becomes more and more accurate. So we're going to do that whenever possible. But, you know, as I said, I called it a run and gunner. And you could see a lot of what I'm doing is running, but not actually a lot of gunning. Especially in this first mission, we really... The people we take out, you'll notice in the bottom right, a little yellow bar. When that bar fills, I'll be able to upgrade my weapon, which is a mechanic from Russia with Love that some of you might be familiar with, which lets you upgrade weapons. And I do want to take advantage of that. And to do that, I do have to take enemies out and collect stars. But there's a lot more enemies than I necessarily need to take out. So I'm only taking out the ones that are really like in my way or who need to go. Another thing to point out is you'll notice my ammo count continually refilling because I'm mashing the X button to reload. The way this game is coded, I actually can't interact with doors, prompts, switches, none of that stuff, like that X right there to get through that door. None of that works at all if my gun is not full of ammo or physically can't be reloaded. It's very obnoxious. And you don't actually notice that immediately. So it took me a good like 3 runs before I realized that was what was going on.
Yeah, that's very odd.
Speaking of crazy things, did you know we have a jetpack in, what is this, 1963? It's a time capsule within a time capsule.
Let's go. 1963 jetpacks. I'm here for it.
Oh, yeah. So, we're coming up on the boss of Mission 1. In order to spawn the boss, we need to take those guys around the clock tower out. I go a specific path around. I actually took the record of this from fellow runner Muffins. Massive shout outs to Muffins if you're watching this, or just for being awesome in general. I took it from him with a couple small optimizations and reroutes, and the way we fight that clock tower was actually one of them. Beforehand, we would go around the whole thing slowly and then have to do a U-turn, and honestly, the jetpack controls pretty bad. So it's nice to be able to take it out super simply. Front movement, right, left, around, and you're right there at the clock tower. So speaking of From Russia with Love, you know what? I'll save that in a little bit. I'll save that little tidbit. Instead, we'll talk about Hedge Maze. And I say we'll talk about it, but really there's not actually that much. This is probably the last level that really exemplifies the running more than the gunning part. If you guys have played this on the PlayStation 2 version or the Xbox or the GameCube version, you might notice, wait a second, this Hedge Maze is a little small. So for the PSP version, they had to make some strategic, shall we say, cuts of certain content. And I'll let that really speak for itself later, but right now, just know that you should be expecting some stuff like that. But yeah, if I am probably gonna stumble for words a few times, so Tippy, feel free to just insert yourself. I like having a casual experience up here.
Well, first of all, you didn't tell me there was a hedge maze in the game, and now I really want to play it because this looks awesome. But so we are playing in the Japanese language, correct?
Yes, that is correct. We're in Japanese, and during setup, I did promise I would explain why. So I want everyone to brace yourself. The reason we're playing in Japanese is a little less exciting than, Japanese saves time because the text is faster. There are 2 reasons that I'm playing in Japanese. The first one is I was testing all of the versions of this game. I tested the US release, the PAL release, the Japanese release, and I was doing full runs on them to test them. And when I was doing that, I was like 40 seconds behind on US and like 35 behind on PAL, and then I PB'd by 20 seconds on JP, which, by the way, we don't think JP actually runs fast or anything, but because of that placebo of going, I PB'd on JP, that's obviously the version to play. Here we are, we're on JP.
So it's not actually confirmed faster. This is just kind of what happened to you in your findings. It
was just straight up, I like JP. I PB'd on JP. This is obviously the version I need to be playing on. Now,
well, go ahead.
There is actually one piece that does save time on JP. Before starting every run on US or PAL, you have to turn subtitles on if you want to be optimal. You see these subtitles on the screen. Basically what they did was they took the English version of the game and they went, let's just put Japanese subtitles over everything so Japanese players can read if they can't understand English. Because there are pre-built subtitles, we don't have to turn subtitles on, and that saves like 4 seconds every run, or 1 save state if you're playing on emulator. So there is actual speed tech to playing on Japanese, but that's about it.
So the voices are still in English?
Yes, that is correct.
Awesome.
So if you were using audio cues here, we're looking for, in the Japanese text, the letter Q to pop up, which, if you guys know Bond, you should know who Q is immediately. So we saw the Q, we see a next box of text, and that is when our boss, M, basically says, "You have your orders, Bond. Get out of here." And it's time to go. That if you go too early, you will actually lose about 15 seconds from walking to the door because the prompt won't spawn anymore. We do not want to do that. And now we're just getting introduced to our Q gadgets. We're going to trigger the Q copter. Also, this is one of the new strats I found. This saves 1.5 seconds if you walk to the Q copter first. Beforehand, everyone walked over here to the rappel first. Literally small things like that. You just go, oh, what if I do these differently? And there's free 1.5 seconds. And you can tell you can move because not only does the purple dot disappear, but the guy in the back does like a reset. And now basically this is a training course where we're just going to practice using our watch. There's not really any watch tech. The big thing here is to squeeze between these robot dummies that you obviously remember from the film. Make sure you push aim twice to lock onto this barrel. Try to squeeze through these guys. All right, we'll take that and go finish the level. So, you were saying something, Tippy, when I started explaining that. If you would like to continue that.
Yeah, sure. No, so I was wanting to make sure that the audio was still in English because I find this really interesting. Like true Bond fans will know, you know, the movie released From Russia with Love in 1963 with Sean Connery playing James Bond, and he came back for this role to voice Bond again in 2005, and to have the original actor come back and do that is absolutely mind-blowing. So I think whether you love or hate this game, you can't deny that that's very cool.
Yeah, it very much is cool to realize that this is Sean Connery himself in this game rehashing himself.
Yeah, and I think at the time, this was his only video game appearance just ever. He might have done some things after the fact, but I believe he was interested in it because his grandchildren are interested in video games, so that's pretty cool.
That is cool. I didn't know that. I regretfully am not a true Bond fan, but I should start with this and explore. Speaking of From Russia with Love, y'all might have noticed, did you just go directly from gaining the watch and talking to Q? You skipped all of Istanbul? You're just in the gypsy camp now? Yeah, remember I talked about those concessions the game made? Turns out the PSP version saves about somewhere between 90 minutes and 2 hours because they cut out every gun turret, every boat section, every car section. They were like, PSP only has one stick. How are we going to do this? Let's cut them. And so they did. So we don't have to see Bond drive. We don't have to see Bond boat. None of that. It's all gone. So this is a solid 45 minutes of Bond action. No auto-scrollers. Everyone loves to hear the no auto-scrollers. Unfortunately, we do still have escort missions, but we'll get there. We will get there. So, you also saw our first use of the weapon upgrade system. We chose to upgrade our AK, which is by far the best weapon in the game, without a doubt. It's just the most powerful gun, without a doubt. And we do want to upgrade multiple guns throughout. So we will be doing that, but the most important one first was that AK. Now we're going to get introduced to the sniper rifle. And because I'm playing on PSTV, I was actually able to remap the zoom in, zoom out to my right analog stick. However, natively, this game would be D-pad up, D-pad down to zoom in and out. And also, fun fact about the camera controls, because the PSP only has one analog, the camera was actually mapped to circle and square. So if you guys like games that control like that, where you get to control the camera and yourself at the same time, but only one of them's on the stick, it actually makes this game quite interesting, and you can do some rather precise setups with that because you don't have to worry about trying to manipulate one stick for the camera and one stick for Bond, which anyone who's played a shooter on twin sticks can know that can sometimes be a bit of a problem. Sticks are, I would say, not the most accurate compared to something like mouse and keyboard. You also notice me, I did say the assault rifle is by far the most powerful weapon in the game. We ran out of ammo with the sniper, and we're going to immediately stop using it and swap over to the assault rifle. I'm doing this special Bond aiming mode, which we want to go into often because it lets us get a precise headshot, and all of these guards will go down in a single headshot. Also, shoutouts to that guard who just ends the mission regardless of where you shoot him. It just gives you the ending like that. There we go, we're out. That was our friend Kareem. Kareem is going to be with us for a little bit. Remember how I said those escort missions? Yeah, Kareem is our escort buddy in this part. Also, I'm going to show off a little bit of tech here because I don't do it in the run, but we'll go for it one time because this is GDQ. This is going to be a wall climb. So we have to head into this corner at a specific speed. And what that speed is going to do is let us climb this wall. There are two places this is useful. This first one, which saves, I think I timed it till like 17 seconds if you get it quickly. We are probably not saving that 17, but, you know, like I said, we're here to show it off one time for fun because, come on, stop dropping it. Because I'm holding the stick forward and he starts running, I'm actually losing my height. So it would be cool if we got this, but I don't have my hopes up. So I have to, once I reach the max, slightly adjust Bond. And then while running forward, I have to like wrap it around and roll using double triangle, which you haven't seen me push yet, to get over the railing. Unfortunately, I missed it there. But just so everyone knows, there's a cool little trick in case you guys want to get into this game. There are a few places that's useful. Only two are really useful right now. But it's fun to show off tech, whether we get it or not. I mean, that's the whole point of showing these games off at marathons, right? So everyone can see just what you could do if you too wanted to be a James Bond speedrunner.
Absolutely.
All right, we need to take that guy out. We're gonna get introduced to our first heavy gunner here. So because we're playing on the easiest difficulty, that was our first heavy gunner. I hope you all enjoyed that encounter. We literally just made him come down and then went around him because it is faster to just ignore him instead of fighting him. We're going to swap back to our fan favorite AK. You'll notice in that cutscene, Bond had a sniper rifle. Yeah, not really. This level is called Sniper Alley, in case anyone is curious why. I'm supposed to be covering Kareem here with a sniper rifle, but again, I really want to just state how powerful this AK, when I actually hit things, is. It's so good. It one-shots everything with a headshot. And you could see that all I have to do is enter Bond mode while aiming down, and I usually could get a headshot on the guys and take them out. Unfortunately, we had a little not as optimal there. But this whole fight, this is the real, like, Kareem escort here. So we're going to have to continually take guys out in order to let Kareem slowly progress through this. You saw a mechanic with big guys. One of the reasons big guys are so slow is because you need to take out their, essentially their like shoulder armor in order to expose their actual body to be able to be shot. So we have to do that every time we see a big guy who becomes a bit of a bully in the way. We have two more sets of enemies with Kareem. Let me just upgrade the pistol really quick. I was going to do that anyway, so here's the place to do it. And again, you really want to upgrade, even though the pistol is not anywhere near as good as the assault rifle. This sniper alley is really not treating me nice. Not anywhere near as good as the sniper rifle. It packs a punch, and you're going to use it often. Speaking of new strats, this is another one I came up with. Before we used the sniper, but now we have this new strat where we pull out the rocket launcher. Bam. First set of enemies down. Kareem is already moving, and now what we're going to do, he's going to run through that door. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. We're going to fire at 5. That guy was holding Kareem. He was doing the stereotypical, I have a hostage, what are you going to do situation. I accidentally save bossed. Woo, everyone, shout outs to save bosses. Cancel save. Love save bosses. Yeah, you know, stereotypical thing. You're supposed to pull out the sniper, get a really good headshot or arm shot to take him out. Turns out Kareem's actually completely immune to the rocket launcher, so we don't have to do any of that. We just fire one good rocket and the mission's over. All right. The game now takes a little bit of a twist. We're no longer in the run section. We're now in the gun section. The game basically has just jumped up in difficulty quite ridiculously, in my opinion. And we get introduced, we're going to have to use these gadgets. We are going to really have to min-max what weapons we use and when. This is the Q-copter. We saw it earlier when we were in the hedge maze. We actually get to use it here. This is another one of the small optimizations I found. If you push forward on the Q-copter and hold the strafe button at the same time, the Q-copter actually, for every, I think it's like 30 seconds, so you would travel with forward, you save like 6 seconds if you strafe as well. So yeah, cool little optimizations like that of just, that's the kind of stuff you could contribute to a game like this. So you don't even have to run it. You just come in and go, I wonder if this is faster. And bam, there you go. New speed tech. And all those small time saves, I assure you, any speedrunner can vouch for. One small time save might only seem like 1 second to you, but to a speedrunner, 1 second here and 1 second there and 1 second there. I'm sure you can vouch for that, Smooth. That adds up.
Oh, it definitely adds up.
So
I'm actually curious, Sarge, what is it that got you interested in speedrunning this game specifically?
This game specifically, so I run a little with the new Twitch channel point system. I have a wheel that I let people submit to in case they want to see me really play a game. And my chat has been on a binge to make me play every single 007 game on N64 and beyond. So one of my chat members is an absolute jokester, and what he said was, all right, From Russia with Love is on the wheel, but it's not the PSP version, so let's try to make him play a version that's gonna not be fun. Joke's on him. I love this game. PSP version is great.
That's a really funny story. Thanks for sharing, Sarge.
Yeah. So right there, we did a little piece of tech. I stood in a very specific spot. And what that did was it let me summon the Q-copter while in a cutscene trigger. And that essentially made it so that while the Q-copter was out, the cutscene would activate, which saves time over having to resummon the Q-copter later. It is possible to miss that, which is unfortunate, but all I would have done is summon a new Q-copter. So yeah, we're basically flying through the vents. We also got introduced in one of the previous cutscenes. We're now with Tatiana or Tanya, a couple different names depending on what you want to refer to her. But if you're a James Bond fan, you know who she is. And she is our new escort buddy. Kareem is back in Istanbul. Well, I guess we're technically in the Russian consulate in Istanbul, but he's doing his own thing with his brother right now. So we came here because the whole point of this, the whole story, is that Tatiana has said that she will defect to the Americans if we, James Bond, are the one who came to rescue her, and she'll also provide the Americans, or I say the Americans, I meant the British, because James Bond works for MI6, I think? Gosh,
Yes.
the not James Bond fan is showing. So yeah, she said she defect. In reality, it's a trap, because of course it's a trap. But turns out, in classic Bond fashion, she actually kind of falls for Bond, kind of likes this. So we're actually trying to save Tatiana at this point with the Lecter and get out, because this has turned into a love story. Tatiana is our love interest, and she is coming home with us. We are escaping Istanbul with the Lecter. But to do that, first we have to go get the Lecter, which is located in a vault. That's why we're in the Russian consulate. All of this stuff is things anyone who's seen the film, I'm sure, knows, but you know, it's worth explaining once or twice, because this is 60-something? I'm sure I'm not the only one who hasn't seen this film in the 50... How old is this? 60 years now, actually? I think.
Somebody do the math from 1963. We'll wait.
Well, I just got turned around. Okay, so yeah. You'll notice I'm actually taking the time to take every guard out. Unlike Kareem, Tatiana, well, I guess kind of like Kareem, but you didn't really notice it. Tatiana will actually not move unless every guard in the room ahead has been taken out. So here's another strat. Originally, what we did was we pulled out the wristwatch, shot all of those locks with the wristwatch, which, you know, cool spy stuff. That's what makes sense, right? Pull out the wristwatch laser, break open the vault. Turns out just one AK shot instantly ends them all. I found that in the middle of a run while the old world record holder was watching it, and he was just like, I can't believe it was that easy.
Sometimes you just need a couple of other folks to get in on a game to,
you know, really do
figure out what's possible.
Agree. Yeah, I know Ghost, he's in chat right now. Shout outs to Ghost as well. He is the guy who found a lot of the corner wall climbing that I tried earlier. He doesn't run the game to my knowledge, but all he does is just sit down and glitch. One person coming down, two people coming down. Like, the smallest contribution can just be massive.
Can I borrow a match?
Lost.
I'll use a lighter.
Alright, that's another classic one you might know from the Bond film. Where he offers a very important individual. You all might know him from the film. He asks for a matches, and Bond is like, I use a lighter. And he says, even better, until it fails. Classic Bondism. We skipped the cutscene in there, the one y'all might love, where he's like, red wine with fish? I should have known. Which I believe all of these are very well-known Bond lines, so they really got the ones they could in this game. So some story explanation here. I learned this the other day while looking this up. Apparently, in the original film, the enemy team that that individual there, Grant, works for, they're called Spectre. Is that true? Can you verify that?
I think that's the classic, I guess, antagonist for Bond and MI6 is Spectre.
Yeah, so in this game, because there was apparently a copyright dispute or a trademark dispute, I don't know what it was, over the name Spectre, they actually had to come up with a whole new organization. So Red Grant now works for the organization known as Octopus. So every time there's a reference to Spectre, it's now Octopus, in case anyone's confused.
Let's just roll with it, y'all. It's fine.
All right. So here we're coming up on a brand new strat. This is actually a significant time save. However, it's very scary. Watch Titania. Whoa, I don't know if I said that right. Watch Tanya's HP. The goal of this part is to not do that. That was unfortunate. What? All right. We're learning live, guys. I didn't even know you could do that. Forget the strat. I can't do it anymore. That has actually never happened before. Yeah.
We're swinging into action, not part of the plan, Sarge.
No, it was not. You are not supposed to climb on that and swing across. You'll notice that I grabbed a key. Turns out the devs forgot to lock a door the back way, so you could just do that room backwards, and as long as you leave the room before the game over screen pops, even if Tanya unfortunately loses all of her HP, you still successfully make it out of the room. But instead, I showed it off live, showed new tech off live. Casual gameplay live.
We love to see it.
All right, so I'm going to upgrade my sniper rifle here. This is the military train. It's very important I upgrade the sniper rifle because these turrets here take 4 upgraded sniper rifle shots. The sniper rifle is by far the best weapon for taking these guys out. Any other weapon, even the rocket launcher, it just doesn't cut it, unfortunately. Speaking of unfortunate, we take 2 turrets out, and then for some reason, the game has decided before the last turret actually becomes vulnerable, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make you defeat, I think, 6 enemies before you can physically progress the game. I don't know why they decided that. It's just one of those weird triggers. Speaking of weird triggers, if you destroy that last turret too close to this train, the door I just walked through won't actually open. So that was a fun thing I discovered. And now we're going to upgrade our armor piercing rifle. You haven't seen me use this yet. And its one use in the run is this boss fight here. Now we need to defeat Red Grant, and we want to do it in a way that manipulates him to move so that he is always visible to me. So he will go behind walls, but he'll usually pop back out. And if we stand in specific spots, he'll usually start running again. That is the unfortunate thing that we don't want to happen when he does it like that. So we want him to run around. He's being a bit mean, which is, you know, pretty typical of this guy. We're not going to finish him off in one, but we can finish him off here with the AK, which again, I mentioned the AK is very powerful. Again, not a great Red Grant fight, but relatively speaking, Red Grant does absolutely not have to behave, and I will take that over him staying behind the boxes for the entire duration of that fight, or making me run out of ammo with the AK. That would have been even worse, and that can happen if he's really bad. So now we've tracked down Red Grant. We took Grant out, but we had to go to the factory that Octopus, I think, you know, actually, Tippy, do you know the lore of this factory? I actually don't know why we're here anymore, other than to chase down Spectre or Octopus for the Lecter.
It's been quite a while since I've seen the movie, so I'm not exactly remembering all the details, but I'm sure it's necessary that we're here.
Oh, yeah. Of course. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually stay on the jetpack a little longer than the game intended me to, because you get a bond moment out of that, which you haven't seen any bond moments yet. They're usually not beneficial. However, that one, not only is the jetpack really good at just taking all those enemies out without them shooting you, it also lets you get down here with basically full health. And as I said in Consulate, for the rest of the game, my health management and armor management is actually really, really important. With even a small mistake, like getting stuck on a guard, can drastically change the amount of HP I have. Also, small differences. I watched through a speedrun of the PS2 version of this recently. Anyone who's familiar with this game will know there was a lot more to Factory, and I suddenly magically ended up in this room, which is a little bit off from what you might be familiar with. They didn't just cut out driving and boating sections. Sometimes they just cut out parts of the middle of levels, and they were just like, you know what? You don't need to run across this open snowfield for, I don't know, 20 seconds. How about we instead just connect the buildings immediately to one another and save the player time? Speaking of time saves, I actually went over and destroyed that barrel beforehand, even though it looked like I doubled back. Between picking up the body armor and destroying that barrel ahead of time, I actually made it so that a bunch of guys behind me wouldn't have time to shoot me because there was another big guy coming in and a couple scary people. But because that barrel was already gone, I didn't have to worry about standing there getting shot at. I could just run, or I could just leave the whole room after planting the second bomb. All right. So here we actually do need to take every single one of these enemies out. There's unfortunately no way around that. So we have a pretty specific routing here because you have to take some people out to spawn other people. All right, hopefully this guy behaves. Nice, we got him in a nice small loop there. That's the kind of stuff we like to see. Now, this is another thing I tested in this game, and you might have noticed it if you were paying attention, but if not, no worries. Bond actually runs, again, I timed all these things in 30 seconds. For every 30 seconds, Bond runs with a two-handed weapon, other than the rocket launcher, which is exempt, or a unique, what's the word? It's unique to this rule. For every 30 seconds of running with a two-handed weapon, if you were running with a one-handed weapon instead, you would have saved 4 seconds. So if you were running more than 30 seconds across something, as you just saw, I took a giant catwalk run around the entire room, it is worth taking the time to menu on a one-handed weapon because it will just ultimately be significantly faster. You also noticed some guys, I just completely ignored them. When you hit the trigger to open the door, they just disappear, which is really cool. Really like that. So you don't actually move slower aiming at people and shooting them. However, you do move slower if you like get caught and start twisting, or if you run into someone and melee range, Bond will actually start meleeing them. That loses time, so we don't want to do that. We get introduced to the tank mini boss here. We're just gonna put the rocket launcher on, fire 2 upgraded rockets, and swap off the rocket launcher because the rocket launcher is incredibly slow. I do not want the serum gun. That is not useful for any reason. We're gonna take the tank out just like that. Easy peasy. Careful not to be too close or you will hit yourself. Explosions actually do a lot of damage. Take that guy out and plant our final bomb with everyone in the room still alive and get out of factory. Easy peasy, good level. And believe it or not, well, you might believe it because we're like 35 minutes in now. We're at the end. This is the last level. Which also, it's the hardest level.
They leave it right to the end.
Yeah, they do. They actually leave it to the end. The second to last room is the biggest possible time loss. If we're gonna die, if we're gonna lose possibly an entire minute, it's going to be in the second to last room. So fingers crossed. I'll point it out. We'll know when it's there. But here's hoping. Also, small time save there. We save by killing that guy across the walkway, which you saw I actually took the time to aim at him, even though I was being shot at. We saved about 15 seconds because if he goes into that small room he was trying to, he locks the door behind him. Then I have to bring out a Q-copter, fly it in there, blow it up. Lots of things we don't want to have to do. So being able to just aim across and knock the guy out just like that, nice little 15-second time save. And I think that was found shortly before I joined the community by Ghost. So yeah, like this game is it has a lot of room for exploration. A lot of small optimizations can still be made to just really squeeze every one of those seconds out. So this is probably the one auto scroller in the run. What we need to do for this auto scroller is try to save as much body armor, which is the blue bar, if I never explained that, beneath my health, as possible. Because unlike health, which will just refill when I enter a new room, body armor doesn't refill unless I pick up more body armor. Now, I have more body armor coming. However, I have to defeat a rather big enemy for that body armor. So what I'm really hoping for is that I get to him with body armor so that I can take him out and pick fresh body armor up without having to worry about health, because that body armor is going to be in the middle of a room, which means no health refill for me. And that room has a boss fight in it, which we want to worry about our health on. So yeah, you could see I'm trying to pull out the Bond vision and take all of these guys out as soon as possible. But unfortunately, we were not able to save the body armor. That is big unfortunate, but we will be okay. We'll just be probably down a little bit of health. But the boss we're dealing with shouldn't be a huge issue. We'll see, we'll see. You also notice that I'm making sure to save 2 pistol ammo, because as I said before, if you're running the pistol, you'll save time over running with a 2-handed weapon. And the priority system, after the pistol runs out of ammo, Bond will always swap to the AK next, and then we have to manually menu back. We really don't want to have to do that, because menuing takes time, and it's cool when the game does it automatically for us, but when it does it in a way that we don't want it to, and we have to menu back or just run very slowly across the room with a 2-handed weapon, yeah, you can see the potential trade-off. Also, right there, that's why I wanted body armor. This level does not pull punches. It has decided I am going to go into this room with about a third of my health missing already. So this upcoming boss fight, we'll see how the game decides. As usual in a shooter, enemy bullets, enemy shots, what does hit you, what doesn't hit you. It's completely random. You see there, game auto swapped to the AK. However, in this case, swapping to the AK is actually okay, because we have a big boy here and we want to take him out as soon as possible. Swap back to our revolver because we want to move quick. And now we're coming up onto the boss. Now, I don't understand the decision behind this boss. This might be another one of those you just have to watch the movie things. I will let a cutscene play after this, and we'll maybe figure it out in chat. So she is the lady who took the Lecter, who is working with Octopus, with Grant, and we are essentially in a jetpack with rockets, but I don't know where the jetpack stores these rockets, by the way. And we have to take out this, it's supposed to be a jet, but it kind of looks more like a biplane from this angle. We're going to take it out. We want to try to take it out over here on this blue circle. Now I'm going to let this play because there's a whole cutscene dedicated to this. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. Why does that happen? Is that from the movie? Who knows?
Chat seems to think it is very different from the movie, so you're good, Sarge. You're good.
Yeah. So yeah, that was an entire cutscene. We beat the boss, yay! But now this is another example of we really need our body armor here. Every bit of body armor we lose is scary. Our HP is coming back. However, if we die, this is the room that could lose a minute. So my estimate is accounting for no deaths because I'm going to be safe. But tragedy can happen. Of course, you know, I'm not going to die. Why would James Bond die? All these guards have shotguns, which you saw. I just got shot there. You could see how much damage one shot took. I had to take all of those enemies out. Now we're going to crouch behind this. I mentioned earlier that we want to take these guards out when they are hanging on their ropes because Bond can actually break the ropes directly, which lets us instantly knock them out. However, that doesn't, the time it takes us to shoot them does not stop them from having the time to shoot us. So I really need to make sure that I am aiming and taking these guys out as optimally as possible, because every single second counts, not per se because we're in a speedrun, but because every second I leave a guy alive, I am losing more and more and more HP. Also, that's the octopus logo, so you guys can see it there. So this is it. This is the hard fight right here. Try to hit him, hit him. We have 2 more to take out. Okay. Not great, but we're still in green HP. There's a shotgun guy up there. You can hear him shooting. He just hit me there. If he decides to, he could just headshot me and I will lose. I will instantly go into yellow, which is very scary. I'm going to take the time. I got hit by a rocket launcher. Not good. Take out the scariest 2 guards. One of them dropped a small body armor. We'll take that. I'm actually going to play it a little safe. There is body armor behind me here that I would like. Now, I didn't have to grab that. But again, if I haven't established the fear through explaining it, maybe the amount of damage I have taken has just really shown that room is scary. And it's literally the second to last room of the run, because we're on the home stretch. This is it. All that's left is the final boss of this game. We just have to get there. Grab this body armor so we're full. And here we go. Now, it turns out Grant, who we defeated at the train station, guess what? He's back. And he has a giant robot, because of course he has a giant robot. So we're gonna line up at a specific spot in the railing to hopefully block all of his lasers, because he fires lasers. We're gonna fire the upgraded rocket launcher at Grant. It'll take 4 rockets if we do this right. It's gonna break all of his arms. Nice, perfect. Swap to the rocket, or swap to the sniper rifle. Now time is going to be after 7 shots, give or take. The screen will freeze, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Time, and that was shot 7.
GG.
Thank you.
Sarge, you did it. How do you feel?
I'm happy that the last room behaved well, given that looks like that was about a 44, so that came really, that makes my estimate worth it. I'm very happy. I hope everyone enjoyed that. That was super fun. Thank you for having me. I'm glad I got to show that off. If you guys would like to come learn this game, or really any game in the 007 speedrun community, there is a Discord. We have it on Speedrun. This is specifically the PSP version, but we have a lot of people who can help you with that. I would specifically like to give shout outs to Ghost. I already shouted him out once for doing a lot of the tech and glitch hunting. Muffins, who held the world record before me, for just being an awesome dude, giving me competition. He says he's coming back, so I look forward to that. And Fitter Space, for being super supportive mod of the 007 community. And every time I asked him for, hey, can you do this to the boards? He's like, yeah, I could do that. That makes sense. That's why we have Japanese PSTV as an option now. And yeah, thank you so much for having me. I hope you guys enjoyed the run, and hope I either come back or just see you guys at GDQ proper.
Yeah, hopefully we will see you at AGDQ, Sarge. Sarge has a couple of submissions, so fingers crossed. But thank you again for showing this off. It was an absolute pleasure to have you here. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, Sarge.
Thank you.
Before we break, everybody, I want to give a huge shout out to all of our wonderful supporters. Your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered here on the GDQ Twitch channel do help support the shows you see here on Hotfix, including Time Capsule, so please consider subscribing if you do enjoy your daily dose of GDQ. And if you missed out on any of our Hotfix shows or past events, like our recent Flame Fatales marathon back in August, be sure to check out the VODs on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/gamesdonequick. And of course, if you haven't followed Sarge here on Twitch, the link is pinned here in our chat, so make sure you follow Sergeant Silent, SRGT SILENT here on Twitch. We'll be right back with Stubbs the Zombie in Rebel Without a Pulse, so stay tuned, everyone. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. I'm your host, Smooth Operative, and you are watching Time Capsule. Before we get into our next run, I'd like to mention that Awesome Games Done Quick 2024 will be live in person January 14th through the 21st in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Game submissions close on September 10th, and volunteer submissions close on September 18th. You can use the command !AGDQ in our Twitch chat for more information, and if you're interested in volunteering for the event, be sure to apply, even if you don't have any experience. Now, I may not have experience with our next game, but I can introduce you to someone who does. Here to speedrun Stubbs the Zombie in Rebel Without a Pulse, please welcome Vel Crafting. Hi.
Hi. I'm Vel Crafting.
How are you doing, Vel?
I'm well. The keep having to knock the cats away from the lights. They keep going after them, but nonetheless, I hope everybody's doing well tonight. We're going to be playing Stubbs the Zombie in Rebel Without a Pulse. This is a game from 2005 that I picked up from Blockbuster as a kid. And
oh, let's go.
And then one day I just kind of wanted to listen to the soundtrack again. And this game has such a great audio to it. You can actually find the whole album on Spotify. Definitely recommend checking it out. But with the 100% category, we're going to be going through all 12 levels of the game and be collecting 53 hippo heads. They're spread out throughout the entire game, so there's going to be some areas that'll have a lot of talking and discussion, and then some areas that are going to just be a little bit more quiet at that point. One of the big things that you'll notice is that there's designer or developer commentary. And throughout the game, it seems like it's one of those things that kind of got neglected, because in some areas it'll be louder, some areas it'll be quieter, some areas it'll override. So there's a lot of weird nuances that happen. But I'll be sure to call it out as we go through.
For sure, sounds good.
So on that note, we'll go ahead and get started. We played this on the easy difficulty. There is all the way up to the insane difficulty. One of the things you'll notice with this game is that there's a lot of similarities to the Halo game. This is actually the only game built on the Halo engine that isn't Halo. So you'll see a lot of overlap with that, and I'll be calling that out as well. But we'll go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you.
He stole my hot dog! Oh my goodness!
Now, right as we begin, Stubbs just woke up from a shallow grave, and we skip the cutscene where he takes this guy's hot dog and eats it. Now, it's debatable on what's happening at this point, but as far as I saw, Stubbs helped that guy. He was really messed up, and now he's, like Guidebot said, he's not even twitching anymore. So we have this tutorial character. She's like our Cortana of this game. The entire time that we're playing, she'll be giving us little tips and tricks and guidance. And for the most part, we're going to ignore her. She gives us all these things to do, but we don't really care to do them. As soon as we get control, we're actually going to deviate from the path and go to the left. This entire game is built to look like this retro future city of the future. It's based in the late 50s, and it's meant to be this city of tomorrow today. But you'll see that there's a very colorful cast of people all throughout this, whether they're civilians like there's peppered through here, robots which have a lot of personality, police officers which hit or miss, but they definitely talk a bunch, scientists which can be very problematic, and then the hillbillies which they definitely have a bone to pick with Stubbs. Yeah, he helped the guy. That's what he was doing. One of the things that's really unfortunate with the developer commentary, and you can kind of hear it here, is that it staggers over top of these cutscenes, so you miss a little bit of the charm. But actually, because I did a scratch as we were coming into this cutscene, Stubbs' head is clipping into the camera a little bit.
So the dev commentary, is this like a feature that you've enabled, or it's just kind of a different version?
It's built into the game, though you would think that when they re-released the game that they didn't know it was there. There's no achievement for it. There's nothing that even suggests that it should exist, other than I found a 2008 strategy guide that had a lot of them there, and they were like, oh, we've seen these and we've seen a couple more. let's add to it. And we made this comprehensive list and then started building this route for it.
Interesting.
Now right here, GuideBot somehow notices that Stubbs really had to fart, and she gives us the ability. I don't know how she enables it, but she gives us the power to fart, and it disorients everybody around us in an AoE. Normally what we try to do is kick this cop car to knock one of them onto another, because that bugs out the zombie AI and makes them a little less problematic. They can block GuideBot's path, which then ends up causing its own issues, and he has to wiggle around them.
Now we can continue the tour.
So we learned shoving there. On the easy difficulty, it really doesn't have much value. On the harder difficulties, it's how you kind of manipulate your zombies in big waves and allow them to really maneuver.
Perfectly still and transfix them with your steely gaze. Now purse those lips
and then right here we learn whistling. The whistling itself, it seems pretty benign, but what I've found in the any percent route recently when I just came back to the game was that you can use it as a way to get the AI's like spatial hearing to pick up on it, and then you can manipulate how they maneuver around, which is very helpful. Now, originally I was talking about there being 53 hippo heads. This first level has 7 of them, and we've only picked up 1 so far. So we're going to go ahead and grab number 2 over here, and this will unlock some developer commentary.
So we're sitting around,
and then we'll go back over here.
Probably a few dozen like game ideas.
And then this will get us through to the next area, which is less GuideBot driven. This is meant to just be, hey, you have control of the character, let's see what you do with it. And we're going to use that to just pick up more hippo heads.
We had a big meeting and there was a vote, and this was the only.
And for whatever reason, that was an unskippable cutscene that we just had, but it doesn't stop the audio of the developer commentary there, but in some areas that'll just fully cut it.
The devs can't be stopped here.
They're unstoppable.
Yeah.
Trivia buffs out there. My direction
So
to Amy Warren.
we'll go down this way. One of the things with Stubbs on the re-release that's really nice is that he runs immediately.
Nailed that one.
On the original version, when we would play that on PC or on Xbox, you'd have this wind-up time of like 3 to 4 seconds where Stubbs is just slowly shambling, and then on the new version, they just said, you know what, we'll give you full speed, whatever. And that was my favorite update out of this. They also gave you the ability to change some of the visuals of the game. Like you'll notice there's a film grain that goes over. That's an edited feature, or that's like on there by default, but they gave you the ability to turn it off when they made the re-release patches. But I turned it on just because it's the classic OG look of it. But as we're running through this town, one of the things to notice is that all of this area we'll be revisiting later. The game itself is built all throughout a cyclical day. So like we started in the morning, we ended in the evening. It's all back-to-back sequence of events. So now we have 4. We'll grab number 5 over here. And then we're going to go behind City Hall. Again, like really cool architecture just throughout this world. Super like alive world despite the lack of people. Like it's very quiet around here.
It's kind of cool how it's all.
I still like the architecture as well as the future city. They did a nice job with this.
Main drag downtown.
Yeah, and all of this
That's true.
the fact that it's built on the Halo engine, there's some of the areas that they reuse assets that are definitely like original Halo elements, and the next level we really get to see it, but they still managed to maintain this futuristic look despite it being this retro vibe. But having grown up in Pennsylvania, I can tell you when I got this at Blockbuster, our towns look nothing like this. for this being Punchbowl, Pennsylvania, this looks nothing like my area, at least.
Oh, do you live close by where this game supposedly takes place?
Well, just in Pennsylvania itself. So this is all a fictional town itself. Now, right here.
Or is it?
Yeah, exactly. Or is it? It's a hidden town. We don't know about this one. We get an unskippable cutscene here, but then I'm going over to this 4th strip of grass. Just so that way we don't accidentally trigger the end level, because we need to go over here and get Hippo Head number 7.
Stubbs.
That was a long, drawn out.
And then once we get this one, we can go ahead and hit the level trigger.
But yeah, that was another idea.
And
Sort of early
go
on.
through here. Now, this vehicle that we get at the beginning is a cross between the Wraith and the Ghost. So we have like a mortar gun like that, but then we also have this slick ability to just drive around super fast. This is meant to be a landscaping vehicle, but we use it. I don't know what kind of landscaping you do with this thing, but we take it for a full ride. There's 6 hippo heads in the Bleeding Ground. Bleeding Ground should be very familiar for Halo CE as being Blood Gulch, BG, all the same. We run up to this door, and when we get out and hop back in, the game thinks we're on the other side, so it gives us a free exit. But we use that to clip in. And that's hippo head number 2. This area, the beginning, they come at pretty quick just because of how fast this vehicle is. But we do get an enemy up here, which this enemy also has this vehicle, and when they shoot at us, it's also very dangerous. So we got to try not to die. We don't need to worry about them taking our vehicle. For whatever reason, they're very afraid to drive our car, and they don't get back in their own. So once we knock them out, we can just run in and no harm, no foul.
Who is the head of...
And we run up here. For whatever reason, this building, as soon as you walk in, the doors lock behind you. So we hit that button in order to just unlock them. And then we jump here diagonally and pick up the 3rd hippo head. Now that's all the hippo heads in this front area. And then we just hop back in our vehicle and drive over to the exit. On the any percent route, we don't do any of this. We used to go in here to unlock the door, but we one of our original runners, Lozy, ended up finding, they came back to the game for about a week and found 2 skips that saved us like 3 minutes off the original run. Oops.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then they disappeared again. They didn't even record a full run. They just found some new skips and they're like, all right, my job here is done.
Here you go.
And then we'll go running in here. This is normally right about, you just clip right through that door instead. Now I whistle here just because it throws off the AI a little bit and usually makes them easier to run through. That's hippo head number 4. And then we go through the tunnels. Very nice. It's always good when they play along and just give us an easy path. Now in this case, Guidebot, for whatever reason, she sizes us up and says, wait, you have 3 grenades in your belly, and teaches us how to throw them. But we don't follow her example. We just take that knowledge and run with it. But for whatever reason, Stubbs gets 3 grenades, and they're akin to the Halo blue sticky grenades. So if you land them on somebody, they're instant dead, no coming back. If you land it near them, there's a lot of damage and some knockback. So we can use that for some jumps, and we can use that for some quick kills.
That's true. And they can, in fact, carry...
And so we'll whistle to get these guys to come out.
Unlike many steroid abusers.
And then just kind of wiggle. Oh, that guy didn't want us to go through. Unfortunate. A lot of this becomes a running simulator in the early game. Once we get our next ability, the hand, that's when we can really start moving around pretty fast because it's just another utility ability. But on the easy difficulty, it's much faster to get through all of this. On the insane difficulty, you have to kind of pivot, build a little army of zombies, and then run through. So there's a lot more happening, but on the easy difficulty, most of these guys aren't too big of a problem. And then this is where we'll get number 5. Right there.
So are managing the other zombies like a big part of the gameplay when you're going through casually?
Casually, yeah. Most people end up spending a lot of time moving their zombies around, and that's where you use the shove and the whistle a lot more. And so there's a lot of civilians and like cannon fodder, basically. Like this guy just hanging out, looking around clueless. Same with this guy just walking around. So there's enough to where you can really build this whole army. So on the insane difficulty, you'll see right here specifically like 30 zombies versus 30 cops, and it's a big army just clashing right in the middle, and you're just running on the sideline like, get me out.
That's pretty good.
Now right here, if we manage to go fast enough, those guys end up coming in behind us, but unfortunately we were a little slow. No biggie. Get him out of our way, and then throw a grenade down there. That's hippo head number 6. and then we're good to go. Where did you come from?
At the very end of this level, is Otis Monday.
So then we wiggle on out of here, and this is where we go. In the lore, for whatever reason, the police officers are trying to capture Stubbs, and then Stubbs finds his way into the police lineup on accident. So he's back in jail, or he's in jail for the first time, but the police are trying to figure out how somebody broke into jail, and they're not used to this protocol. Now, in the newest any percent route, this is where I developed like what we're calling whistle strategy, where I'm going through and whistling as we go, which loses a little bit of time each time we whistle. But we're pulling in all these enemies from these side rooms and just kind of starting their patrols early. And that allows the cutscene that's coming up to start and go through a little bit faster. And the reason that's important is that we're going to do what's called the gauntlet, where we need to go through 15 officers in order to open up the next door where the SWAT come in and take us. So to speedrun getting attacked by the SWAT, we need to count to 15 is really the moral of the story there.
How are the enemies going to work? How are the zombies going to work?
So we're going over here, taking out, let's see, that's number 3.
Make a level that was conducive
Come
to
here.
teaching that to the player.
And then see how there's so many people now. Normally there's only like 1 or 2 guys back here, but we have 4.
And what's also interesting about that is that
And then we have this guy is number, I think he's 5. Oh boy.
gameplay was the hand in the detention.
I swear, once I heard it on here that speedrunners are usually bad at counting, I can't unthink that. Like, I guess that's a mental note that I've always thought was funny, is that I'm really bad at counting to 15 for whatever reason.
Don't let them get in your head, though.
It's already happened. Oh no. All right, so then we'll throw a grenade here. We're going really slow, but the respawn didn't come through.
And his grenade is like a part of his body, yeah?
Yeah, he's pulling out his belly, which is very problematic, most would say. But he doesn't
How many
mind.
bellies does he? How many bellies does he have?
He gets 3, and you have to farm that out. So it's not all in one shot. And but some levels you'll start with full gut grenade, other levels you won't. So it's kind of a dice roll there. But now we are in here.
It just blows my mind that Stubbs as a character even exists. Like, it's so out there. This is really funny.
That and it when the studio got bought, they were bought by Disney. So for a time, Stubbs was a Disney prince, at least in my canon.
Oh wow. Okay, you heard it from Fell Crafting. Stubbs is a Disney prince.
Right there is what I call the prison break skip. What we do is we run the hand up the wall and go into the ventilation to start a cutscene. And then we run back out because walking through the ventilation is slow, and we just grab the guy from the front side of the jail cell. Normally we'd go through there. When we go back, I'll show you what we actually did with it. But we take this, and then for whatever reason, they made jumping the fastest animation for the possessed characters. And I swear this is the Gundam style. So we just have this guy dance his way out, and we'll go over to the room where Stubbs is held up. And that's the button we actually hit. Now this scientist has the best brains in the entire game. One brain gives us the full gut grenade, which is very rare. I don't think I've seen any other civilians give that. The base civilians give close to a whole gut grenade, but not fully. So we wait there, just so they stagger out, and then we take that arm because he's not using it. And so we take that.
Giving you a hand.
Yeah, we're just giving him a hand, or he's giving us a hand. We got to go fast. And I always called this my insurance policy. When we take the arm, that makes the ending a little easier, but it's a moment slower. So we take the arm and we have a gut grenade. We're ready to cook. We just got to go through all these SWAT guys. And then we're going to kind of manipulate where they're looking for us by going up this way and then cutting into this room. And then what we'll do is, oh, nice, he opened the door for us. Throw a grenade. And then we take out these 2 guys. By having the arm, it's a one-shot kill instead of having to swipe at them a couple times. And then we have a 3rd hit in case somebody's still running around. Nope. Nice. And now this is Cop Rock. Now in Cop Rock, normally it's a Simon Says mini game about dancing. In our case, for whatever reason, they assume that PC players just like have 2 left thumbs and are unable to do it. So they give us the ability to skip it just by hitting right click instead of any buttons. And we just skip right past it.
I was looking forward to it.
Oh no, unfortunate.
Not today, friends. Not today.
Too slow. But now we have our hand as its own ability. And in this level, we use it to the full extent because the hand can be thrown instead of having to walk our way over there. So we use that to kind of creatively maneuver around. We just got to get past all these other guys. Like, we don't mean any harm. We're just trying to get through. I guess a little bit of the lore just to kind of catch everybody up. Stubbs saw an advertisement for Maggie Monday, and he was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what it is about her, but I definitely need to go find her. And here we are.
Wait, who's that?
She's an actress that was on TV. And up to this point, all he knows is that he's infatuated with her and that he needs to get over there. So he's just trying to find where she is and just running after her. However, she has no idea where he is or any of this.
Now, did he become infatuated with her before or after he became a zombie?
Before, but he doesn't remember that yet.
Okay, I wondered actually if they show Stubbs as a person before all of the zombie stuff.
Very briefly, he's actually a door-to-door salesman in the Great Depression. And so he's running through and he actually meets, he goes to a farmhouse to go sell something. And he meets Maggie Monday is kind of the lore behind that further. And then when he's over there, or when he's at the residence, Otis Monday, Maggie's father comes and gives him a shallow grave, but doesn't tell him, or doesn't tell her that. Right here, though, we're gonna go ahead and take that guy's brains. He's not using them, as you saw. He saw us and looked away, so we're gonna be using them a little better. Gonna gut grenade here, and then these guys. And then this guy, I guess we're just gonna scratch you.
My favorite level to play through right now. Good job, Al.
And then throw our hand over here.
Oh, I didn't really do that much.
And grab hippo head number 2. Yeah, 2. I'm like, what number are we on? This level in total has 4.
Do you find it more challenging doing something like a 100% versus the any percent, just trying to remember it all?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely trying to remember it. Like when I submitted this, I was like, okay, I just gotten the run cleared again on the re-release. So I was like, all right, I think I'm confident there. And then like a month or 2 had gone by, and then now that we're doing the run today, like last week I started playing again, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm saying every single hippo head out loud. I don't remember anything. And but now I got it pretty like pre-programmed after doing a week of runs.
Nice.
And we're taking the hand back here to the back of this parking garage and picking up number 3. And then we gotta skedaddle because these guys are hurting us. But we're gonna need one more brain for the zombie hand, and we'll go ahead and get that hopefully right at the very end of the level here.
And then at the elevator, there's this mob of lieutenant cops.
And I will say, like, the time to beat. Ooh, we're kind of low on health. The time to beat at 56, 55 is relatively attainable. That was something to where it's just one clear of the game and then a little bit of optimization. But with with this run, with what I've done in the any percent recently, we've got it down almost to. Or it's just hit sub 41, and so I was pretty confident that this run could get pretty low, but even still, 53 hippo heads really fast is no joke.
Oh, definitely not.
Now, normally what we would do here is zombie head roll, but on the 100%, we're gonna cheese it by just not doing anything with those guys and running right past them. Hopefully they don't kill me. Okay. Perfect. Whew. That one scares me. That's one of the only spots in the run that we can invalidate because it does the level trigger and it's the last second, so we go by the audio cue of the hippo like going off. So I was like, oh gosh, I don't want to invalidate the run.
I couldn't help but notice during that last scene that Stubbs throws a little hand gesture at you while you're going along.
It's a rare dice roll, but he does do it pretty frequently. On the original copy, I swear it was a lower chance, but then on the re-release, it feels like they made it more.
Oh my goodness. Thanks, Stubbs. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Right here, we fart just because there's too many people and that scares us. And that disorients them all long enough to just build up our little army. We used to think that was the trigger for a cutscene here, but it's actually the civilians getting attacked. So what we're hoping by expediting that is that the zombies attack the civilians while we're moving the hand over here. This level has 4 hippo heads that we have to pick up. And in my opinion, this is like the more lazier of the levels because we literally just pick up one all the way over here on the left side and then the exact same thing on the right-hand side. But the interior of this level, like casually, this level is awesome. But on the 100%, it's just boring because it's a lot of throw the hand and jump and jump and jump.
Are the controls pretty straightforward, at least for those sections?
Yeah, but the hand is also really sticky. So like if you get it caught on something, it will also like, it'll maneuver with that, which can be very problematic. But usually it's fine. But if I hit like, I think the tree can do it. The tree can bounce the hand in a weird way.
Oh, weird.
And then sometimes the hand will skid across the ground, and then other like that, it'll just get stuck immediately. But whatever reason, vehicles and the hand, it's faster to do like a diagonal jump like this, and then we're able to just maneuver. But if we go on that slope, that weird angled slope of that, it'll actually remove our momentum and make us jump like really wonky. So getting that cutscene there though is super good because we're about to get this hippo head and then we can just run right through. And that is perfect RNG. Come on, Stubbs, get shambling.
Come on, Stubbs, we're waiting for you.
Now we get this civilian mostly for convenience, but then we just run right past everything else. Now, all throughout here, they actually have little advertisements for all these businesses. They're all voiced over uniquely. Very, very fun area to go through. So definitely recommend anybody that's casually playing through to check out and just play through this level, like this whole area. Now right there, we just kill those 2 guys and take this guy. I always try to get this guy because his double barrel shotgun has the 2 shots to it. The other guys only have a single shot rifle, and that can be kind of problematic if you miss. We get up here, and then this is the level boss. And he just takes 3 gut grenades and then a couple scratches. So we got to make sure we hit him though. 'Cause if you miss, he's pretty annoying. All right. The farm coming up is definitely my favorite level. This level we had 4 hippo heads, which is fine, but the farm has 10 hippo heads, and that's intense. So we'll get through that one hopefully pretty quickly. Where is it? There it is. So here they have, in my notes originally, I had this divided in front corn and back corn. This is the front corn. we go over here and just kind of zigzag through the cornfields and pick up these. And then the back corn will be cutting through that, that hill over there. Perfect. So this is the level where you learn more about how Stubbs died originally. So he's running through. Now this is actually called the Knob Cheese Farm, despite them having all this corn, no cows, and a sheep pen. So somehow or another, they're a cheese farm, but they're also a well-armed militia that's just kind of hanging out. It's a very confusing timeline, if I'm being honest.
sheep, just as a side
We don't
note,
ask
have
the
actually
fine
been-
details. It's
No, not one bit. Not one
They
bit.
actually had an important role in, the
So here
Stubbs
we're gonna
storyline
get hippo head number 4. This is the
for
entering
several
of the back
iterations.
corn.
Even before
And it's in one of these rows. Oop, there it is. And then we come right over here. Now, I've actually found an interesting routing that they changed with the re-release, is that this gate that I'm standing in front of, in the original copy, you'd have to break it, and then you'd have that NPC yell, "Open the gates." In our case, because we stood near it, they considered that broken, which I don't know.
Convoluted bit of backstory I won't get into.
Oh,
very deeply here.
I see the comment about the thing talking in the background. That's one of the unfortunate downsides of the 100% route, is that you can't turn that off. I actually looked for alternative ways about it, but it would not let me turn it off without disabling all game sound. That's what it feels like. They forgot this feature existed in the game, or like like this collectible existed, which is its own type of problematic.
like, don't get me wrong. I think it's very cool that they added commentary at all. But I guess for something like this, maybe it would have been nice to have the option. But you know, it's fine with me.
Yeah, like you get little snippets. You get speedrunning of dialogue as well, which does give like little trigger points. So like they even talk about there's an Easter egg where they expected people to use this level as a place to exploit Halo glitches. So they actually built out of bounds things here, like a little scene, and then there's also a spot where a bunch of hillbillies will come out with chainsaws and just run you down.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if I'm ready for all that.
No, me neither. So we don't even go to that area. We just keep on driving.
This was simply going to be an assault on a
Yes,
farmhouse.
keep on driving, Stubbs.
And then luckily, because we take the little alternate pathing, which granted was just a gentle slope on the right instead of through a little ditch, they don't spawn extra enemies, which is super convenient.
Hey, nice parking.
Yeah. Stubbs has gotten good at this, you know, maybe it was back in his heyday. I like to think he was a college athlete back in the Great Depression. Like back when he was living, he was probably like a varsity athlete of some sort, because he's really good at running.
He is constantly booking it, and that is why Stubbs is so funny to me. Like, just endless amounts of energy, even for a zombie.
I know, despite like being dead for so long, he really is, he's very spry. He's very on it. Okay, good. So right here, what I did there is I used the extra gut grenade and threw it to make sure we had a little safety spot. And then we possessed this guy on the walkway here. And then we use him to run up the side of the barn instead of going up and over there. And then we'll run over here and take this guy's brains, because he's hanging out, but we could use those brains better. And so we take them, and then see where that guy just shot from. We're gonna take that guy, because for whatever reason, they put a hippo head right up on this guy's brains, but we can possess him like that. Once we see the flash purple, we're good to go. And then we run through.
Incredible stability of the.
I definitely feel like one of the things I've joked about with a friend of mine who runs Halo, we have a lot of Halo crossover community, is that it would be really fun one day to see this with a like a Halo relay race of some sort, or a Halo 1 and Stubbs the zombie as a
I think that would be
back-to-back.
really fun. Absolutely.
This hippo head can be a pain because of all these guys, and the hand will grip onto their brains, and then you're just kind of like, for whatever reason, that fireplace is too small for you to actually fit in. You have to use a hand there, so you need to eat somebody's brains if you miss, which is extra slow.
Now, Vel, you'll have to remind me if you've mentioned this or not, but what is the deal with, like, the hippo heads? Why is that the collectible, you know?
I never got a straight answer, but I have tweeted the devs about this. I believe Matt Sell, the lead writer, just likes hippos. I believe that's literally the only aspect.
We don't drink water.
That's good enough for me, thanks.
Oh, there's an example of the sticky hand. So we throw our hand here, grab that hippo head just because it's slightly faster than running back and forth.
Project director.
But also for any just trivia people out there, or people that like to know like backstory about these designers, Alex Seropian, Matt Sell, Doug Zartman, all these guys that we hear the voices of throughout all this, worked for Bungie in like the 90s and early 2000s, and were part of the original Halo launch as well. So they're all like, this was their casual game afterwards to be like, yeah, we can make fun games. It doesn't all have to be Halo.
Doesn't have to be too serious.
Yeah. Oh, these guys are messing me up. Oh no. Ah. We need to reposition. You need to take like an angled jump, but these guys just messed me up. Okay, good. He pushed me that time. I'll take it. You've redeemed yourself. So there's two scientists here. You'll see the red beam scientists, which are like regular dudes, and then the boomstick scientists are what they call them. I've always called the ones with like the circle that has knockback. I've always called them Einsteins, just because they're like the mini boss. But we grabbed that, and now we have 3 hippo heads out of 5 for this level. And hopefully, we have really low health considering how that beginning area went. But this is like the first very RNG-driven level, so I'm not super upset at what just happened. That things like that are definitely prone to this level above all the others for sure. We take that guy's brains and then throw our hand and don't get that guy. Perfect. That guy can be scary because if you get him, the animation's too slow and you miss the door and it relocks, and I don't know how to beat the level casually. So
I find that so funny about speedruns and speedrunners is like, that's just what happens. You play the game so much in a speedrun setting that you don't remember all the casual stuff, and that's fine.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll just restart. It's fine. Back to checkpoint.
it's like still gonna be faster if you restart than doing the level casually. So there you go.
Yeah. And so this is hippo head number 5, and now Stubbs. He's been running a while, and this is the first time that he actually sees some water, and he uses that opportunity to pee. This is the very casual break time on the easy difficulty to where we literally just chill. We can try and write our name, but it's never something you can really tell. We're mainly looking on this corner though, because there's a guy that can run up there and really mess our day up. So we look this way to be intimidating, and hopefully he doesn't come, but that officer did. So when the officer comes, we fart and then eat their brains.
Well, this is something I didn't expect to see in a game, let alone a speedrun.
Yeah.
But here we are. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Casual pee break with some farts. I mean, it's a casual comedy horror. The fact that they list this as a horror game blows my mind. I actually don't understand that one bit.
Oh my goodness.
But I'll take it. Like this game, even as a kid, like the mature rating did not make sense to me. I'm like, I've seen worse. Are you kidding? This is fine.
Contamination of the water, truly terrifying.
Yeah, so this actually has implications later that we're going to start to see. So like right now, we're contaminating the water supply, and that's really, I mean, it's problematic to say the least for everybody else. To Stubbs, he's just chilling. This is just BAU, like run through, no problem.
Just another day for Stubbs.
Yeah, he's just hanging. And now we hear these barbershop quartet guys. They're heavily featured throughout the game. However, we don't see them too often until this point. They are very problematic in a lot of cases, but not as problematic as that guy. Great push. So we're hoping that these guys don't troll. Whew. No troll. What a time. And then we're going to throw a grenade and use that to break through before they even show up. So if we have the extra grenade there, that's what we do. Otherwise, I just start counting because they come 3 seconds after their audio cue. And you can skip past them just by jumping, but if you do the gut grenade, you get a little more distance for the same amount of time. So slightly faster. And then this part is actually interesting. So going back to that runner that I said just came back and found several minutes of time save, they found this next one as well. What we used to do is throw our hand at the beginning, hit that one, go over to this conduit all with our hand, hit that one. And then we would hit this last one and run up and just charge and take down the enemy. It was a thing. It also took like a minute and a half. However, if you just run to the end, the game is like, hey, buddy, you got to go back there. But we can go and throw our hand here. And that'll trigger some enemy spawns to come in that are expecting you to be at the end of the level. And we just walk out. Literally just skip past the entire sequence of events we're supposed to do. But that's fine.
Wow. That's a nice find. Really nice find.
Yeah, and totally on accident. So this is where we start to see like elements of Halo like breaking come into effect, because stuff like that, at least to my knowledge, is one of those types of things, like breaking through a door by a sequence of like enemies spawning and doing things.
Right.
So right here, we're taking a vehicle that's basically like a little truck full of zombies, and we're dropping them off at these conduits. Because what they're going to be doing is fueling up that. Oop, let me not drive off the cliff. Fueling up that Tesla coil, and then that'll be the last one. And we drive right over here. We want to be close enough that it doesn't manipulate, or that it keeps the spawns in front of us. Because if we go too far, the spawns are in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. So this makes it a little bit easier for us to not have to worry, and they'll spawn right here. Now, what I'm hoping for, though, is that the screen flashes red. If that happens, then that means... Oh, nope. If the screen flashes red, that means that flying guy is at, like, floor level, and we can hit him before he kills all of our zombies. In our case, though, he's being a jerk. Look at him flying around. Where's he going? So we got to track him. This is why we have grenades.
Come back here, buddy.
Oh, that works. Go,
nice.
go. Yeah. So they get the big zap going. And now all that spot that we peed, now it was contained, albeit contaminated. But we're breaking the wall that would normally keep that dirty water back. And it's going to flood the town all the way down there. It is what it is. Stubbs didn't mean it. He's just trying to find Maggie Monday, and these people keep attacking him. He's literally doing his best.
Yeah, he's got one mission, and he's doing his best.
This level has 2 hippo heads, and they come out right in the early stages of the level, which is good because the second half of the level can be a bit of a pain. Now this level is a bit of a confusing one, and I will say this as a prelude, is that when we're doing this, this is the only level where the hippo head commentary stacks on top of each other. Again, forgotten asset. I don't think they knew what to do with these things, because in this case, we're going to hear 2 commentaries at once, which is annoying. It's the only problem I have with this run, realistically. But just as a heads up, because there's going to be a lot of voices in a moment. I'm going to take this guy's brains, too. There's another guy at the door, but I don't trust my zombies. I think they're hungry, too. So... Oh, I guess I was wrong. And now... we run over here. So depending on the AI, our zombies might already be shuffling. Yep, they're shuffling. Good RNG. Whenever the AI is working as intended on this level, I'm very happy because it breaks in a lot of different unique ways. Now here's where it gets a little headachy. So it's a very nauseating mix of audio. Hopefully me talking louder than it makes it not as annoying. But we also go over this death plane here. So that way the army guys can run over that too. Not good for them, just like it's not good for us. And now instead of doing this the intended way, I'm just gonna jump over here. And then this is my safety strat.
You have your zombies, and you want to be able to use them for things like the meat shield is
realized. Once the zombies show up, they're like, oh,
all right.
And just to be clear, there's nothing.
Now there is a rocket guy that could have killed us. Luckily, he was a little slow to the shot. Then we're gonna wait here.
You used a grenade boost to do that, yeah?
Yep. And so here we're actually going to do a little bit of other maneuvering. We used to think that the walls would get hurt by the grenades. They don't. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, the grenades don't do anything to the walls. Which we didn't find that out until like we were well under 50 minutes for a run. So like we found that out pretty late. But what I am going to do is grenade and build up a little army. And then that guy walking towards the wall right now shows me that we do not have a bug, which is excellent. There is an unknown bug on this level that makes it to where your zombies don't attack the wall. And then it doesn't actually trigger the cutscene. Oh my gosh, so loud right now.
It's all part of the ambience. It's fine.
It's all the war. We don't want this guy to, oh gosh, Stubbs, don't die. Stubbs, don't die. Normally we don't do this. Oh, that guy was being extra. I really can't let Stubbs die here. Start healing, Stubbs. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no.
Stubbs took a bit of a tumble.
Yeah, he took a bit of a tumble. That's unfortunate. So we were right at the end, but because of health, we got fragged out by that guy. Unfortunate, but
so this is a lot of RNG, I guess.
Yeah, it all depends on how the enemies position around you. So I tried to clear out a bunch of them ahead of time, which, oh, that guy just burst into pieces, which usually is fine. However, sometimes there's some angry military guys. Like there we full healed and we probably won't have that issue. I didn't head roll. Oh no. We'll kill it right there. That's fine. So we'll just do this. None of our zombies are attacking the wall either, so we might actually have our bug that I was talking about. If we have the bug, then I guess I'll fix it this way. Dang, that's unfortunate. So the bug, the way that that works is all of them just keep flocking around, and it's kind of fine, but it's also kind of not fine because they're a roaming kill squad. Awesome, but they don't attack the wall, and for whatever reason, it needs one of them to attack the wall. Then it'll let you actually play or like break the wall. So we'll get that guy, and then we'll get him. This is super unfortunate. Now the rocket guy upstairs is alive. Good. So I'm just trying to kill all of these guys at this point. You can see our zombies attacking the wall. That's good. And then there's the rocket guy above. So we'll take you. And then now that we have the rocket guy, I guess we can shoot right here. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. That'll kill our zombies on the other side, but the rocket does a bunch of damage.
So the rocket launcher can help us get the fence down or the gate?
Yeah, all the enemy weapons will help a little bit, but usually you want the, yeah, we'll kill him. Usually you want the guy with the gun or with the assault rifle. I'm hoping that we're pretty close. Otherwise, I don't know why our zombies stopped attacking this. If we have
I guess
that
there's
bug
no
again,
indication.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, I was gonna say, is there an indication of like the durability of this?
No, that would be too easy. That would make it way too easy. So we go ahead and throw a grenade up here, and then we go and turn the camera away. Now that does a little manipulation for the area around us and starts like the next area to open. Get that guy out of our way, and then we take that hippo head. Now we need another hand. Nice. That guy was very, very generous to us. So we'll go here and then throw our hand up top. Sticky hand. Where are we? There we go. I was like, all right. So now that we have that, we'll just run through this area. This level has 7 hippo heads on it, and they're all staggered throughout, which is a little difficult because like we have 2 on the first level, and then number 3 doesn't come until the 3rd floor. and then they're staggered from that point. But this level actually has like architecture that's built just for the hippo head area. So we know that it's not, we know that they intended on this thing to exist and be part of the game, but they still don't really acknowledge these within the game. It's so strange.
Another thing, there's actually 2 classes of scientists. You can
ooh, okay. Those guys can really be problematic like they are in all the other levels. Grab that, and then we just get running. So number 4 is going to come up once we get to the to this next, not this level, but the level on top of us. Here we're just trying to avoid the scientists, avoid the robots. The robots actually fight for both teams. They fight for whoever doesn't shoot them. Their bar is very low on allegiance. And so, like, they will very quickly turn for or against you as long as you're not the last one to hit them.
I think I will refute this.
Now, that guy we're going to ignore, pretend he doesn't exist. Perfect. And that's Hippo Head number 4. Right in that little corner. So then he attacks them because he's silly, and then they all start attacking him. And then we just go ahead and run on out. So the next one, though, is the one where it's got a special room dedicated just to the hippo hand, or hippo head, that we can only access with the hand. It's a very weird design, but it's super cool.
Yeah, that is kind of cool. Like the mission for the hand specifically.
Yeah, like there's that guy, and he's got a button, but we don't do anything with him. The button doesn't do anything. He's literally just present and accounted for. That's his whole role in that exchange.
He's threatening everyone with a good time.
Exactly. See, if they had him just dancing in the office, that would have been a funny little Easter egg.
Oh my god. Save it for the next remaster or however
exactly. Now, normally I try to grab that guy's arm, but with the 100% route, I've noticed that I end up messing up the timing and not getting a hand, which can really be problematic. So we're going to take them out. This is hippo number 6. We're going to grenade over here, and then we're going to take our hand and throw it in here. And then we get an Einstein now. And we just take out as many enemies as we can. So there's going to be respawns on both sides. And then they get a robot in there. So we kill the robot, which kills them. And then these guys are scared out of their mind. So we're just going to help them. You can go home. Fine. And then once we make sure they're all gone, then we move on. And now this next area is the boss, Dr. Y. And now this is where we get what I would call the Stubbs vegan theory. What we find out through the commentary is that Dr. Y actually has been making these citizens as a present for Andrew Monday, the mayor. And so they're all genetically engineered. They're not real people. And that, like, see how he zapped and a bunch of them just came up. So they're all just various soy people at that point, or some
soy people.
Is he dead? Let's rip our head off for good measure. There we go. Okay.
Stubbs is the only real person in this city.
Now that boss fight on the any % is an absolute run killer. Because he is just problematically RNG. Like, everything about him is RNG. What we do at this level, though, is immediately grab this car because it's much faster than walking. And that guy, for whatever reason, once you take the car, he doesn't care. Like, he's still alive. I'm a very pacifist zombie, as you can tell. From our last fight, as you can tell.
he doesn't mind. There's just a quiet understanding.
Exactly. And normally there's an airstrike going off. There it goes. The airstrike is really scary, so we avoid that by driving on the sidewalk if it's been activated. But sometimes it doesn't activate. I had it happen several times. And whoa, in practice to not activate. So they actually shot the landmine that I was about to drive over, which is extra scary. I've never actually seen them shoot it right before I hit it. Usually it's me running over it because my driving is suspect. But in that case, they helped me out.
Very large. Yeah.
Now this level has 5 hippo heads in it, and we've already got the first one, as you can hear, but we're gonna get the second one through use of a little bit of camera manipulation, but also Stubbs has eaten so many brains over the last like 50-ish minutes that his farts are really bad. So we're actually able to run up on this tank that's about to spawn and take over with our fart, which is impressive to say the least. It's bullet and rocket resistant, but it is not smell resistant.
Wow.
Look at that. So we take that over.
That's one way to enter a tank.
Why be complicated when we have the tools for the job? What we do here is maneuver the camera one way and then turn it back, and that'll as you can see, the little green arrow that popped up, that opens up this door. We're gonna take those guys out, and then there's a guy over here that's always a problem for me. So we're gonna take him out too. I hope that got him.
That's not a human.
And then what we're gonna do from here is take our hand and chuck it. So for whatever reason, they put this one all the way back here with the rocket dudes, and keeping them alive, they can blow up. Uh-oh, somebody's shooting Stubbs. Keeping them alive, they can blow up your hand, blow up the landmines, blow up Stubbs. Right there, one of the guys just walked over a landmine. And that's number 2. Number 3, we actually get right along the way. This is actually the hardest part on the insane difficulty, because right here, you have all these guys that aim at you and just aimbot laser you, but then on that roof, there's a sniper. And even on the easy difficulty, that sniper can really mess you up. But on the insane difficulty, he can 2-shot you. And this entire map, like, you have to throw your hand up there, possess him. It's a problem. But we just run past.
Is the max difficulty a category that's kind of popular, or not many people run it?
Only I've ran it. And like, as far as a speed run, no one else seems to want to take that up. It is a prerequisite, though, to get the 100% game save. So to be able to get the hippo heads unlocked, you actually have to beat each level on insane. So usually people have to do it in some capacity, and that's also why I don't think the devs, like in the re-release, knew that this mode existed. Because you have to casually beat it on insane, and then you don't get an acknowledgement. You just see these hippo heads the next time you play through. So we're like, what is going on here? So we grabbed this hippo head. This is actually the same as hippo head number 2 from earlier. And we're gonna take this guy out just because he is problematic. He has a rocket launcher that really has too much knockback, and he's very accurate with it. So I don't like having him alive. His friend usually is a little slower though. And then we drive over this way. And now this is one of my favorite glitches in the game that we really get to execute on the, we have to execute it on the 100%, but we found it on accident. One of our runners, Solansky, he usually played this game on co-op. He never played it on PC solo. So he's like, oh yeah, we just drive the car right through this next area. I'm like, you can do that? And so we had to develop a strategy to do it with solo, and that's where this strategy came out, where we have our zombies, our zombie in the car with us. We drive up to this door and then get him out on that rock. When he's down like that, we can go ahead and drive right through, and this is a very Halo-esque strategy of how you would break through and get a ghost in. And for a safety strat, I'm gonna run in here and then run back out. That should get us a save trigger. There it goes. This game does not like doing checkpoints, and this area is very problematic. It expects you to be in that tank, but that's a little slow. So we go ahead and grab the Jeep, and then I'm gonna get that. Now there's a tank.
Oh my goodness. Is there a tank? Whoa.
Yeah, and then they do this. Oh no.
It's still big enough.
Oh no. Get down here. Okay, I think I'm safe.
I put in some of the
Okay, good.
slight elevation changes here. I was a bit concerned that the tank wouldn't be able to.
It was a close one.
Navigate.
Yeah, only slightly close to death. The way that these tanks work though is that they're able to, while the guy is still getting into the vehicle, they're able to start shooting, which in my opinion is not fair. But it is what it is. I think it's a 60 FPS problem compared to the game originally being 30 FPS. So now I think they just target or track faster. Now this level only has one hippo head in it, and this is our 53rd and final hippo head. And then we actually have a strategy that the developers gave us. They were like, I don't know why you do the boss fight super slow. And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't intend to do it slow. And so they gave us this really cheeky strategy that we're gonna pull off here. But first we have to use the sticky grenade to its fullest. And we get the front guy here. And then we get that guy here. That guy falls over. You need those 4 dead. You line your foot up to that doorbell and then rip your head off. Oh, it broke. Okay, we actually have to do it over. Unfortunate. Plagued with bad issues, but what that, because of the way it checkpoints right there, we actually can't do the fight at all because of the way we do it, no margin of error on all the prior stuff. Like we have no grenades, no head, like there's no ability we have at that point, so we have to restart. Otherwise that fight, the original way we used to do it, which is slow in comparison, is like 2 minutes. 2 or 2.5 minutes versus the entire level can be about a minute if it's done properly. It's always worth restarting. But I haven't had that go wrong in quite a while. Get that guy. Oh, we missed. See, they're mean. They immediately start attacking their friend. That's wild. He just died. So we'll line up a little better this time. And then there we go. And what that's doing, that's time right there. What that does is we use our head to roll through, and as the defenses are coming up, your head rolls through them prior. And now this is where you found Maggie Monday. Oh my God. But wait, she's already a zombie. We actually skipped the cutscene where he meets her. He finally gives her a kiss because she's like, oh my God, I know that guy. And he bites her.
Oh my God.
And so she becomes a zombie. And then she stops them from killing her son. And we get a weird little visual bug coming up here where these two lovebirds are getting in their boat. They're rolling away happily ever after. And then we see Andrew Monday running away with a laser beam. But right as he leaves town hall, what's this? There's 2 Andrew Mondays. A second one pops up on the screen.
What?
For whatever reason. And then they drop a nuke on the town because that's how you deal with a zombie invasion.
Oh my goodness.
So the lore says that there was supposed to be a second game. However, that's when Wide Load got acquired and became Disney property. So again, I think Stubbs is a Disney prince and Maggie Monday is a Disney princess. I think this is all canon.
It's a beautiful end to the story. Someone had mentioned earlier that the logo was possibly a hippo for Wide Load, so I'm not exactly sure if you know, but that could maybe also have been influential in their decision.
Oh. Yeah, that could have been. I wonder if that was all Matt Sell then.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then we get this nice little barbershop quartet. As a team or as like a speedrun community, most of us don't skip this part at the end, but it's this is all like in-game custom music that they made. Matt Sell apparently wrote the lyrics for all of this, and then the team performed it.
Whoa, that's so
like
cool.
This is all small team about everything is my understanding, which is really cool.
I had a question. It was a question that came in from chat kind of towards the end. Do you have a nickname for the hand?
I usually just call it the hand.
The hand.
Actually don't really.
You know what? You'll have
anything.
to talk to the hand for further information, I guess.
Exactly, because it flips you off randomly. It honestly doesn't sound like it'd be fun to chat with. It sounds like it'd be rude.
Well, thank you so much, Velcrafting, for running Stubbs for us. Do you have any shout outs, comments, anything you'd like to leave our viewers with?
Really, honestly, just play this game. It's usually, I've seen it on sale a bunch of times. It's usually about $20 if it's not on sale. The speedrun's super easy to get into. Even if you just like achievement hunting, there's a beat the game in 2 hours speedrun achievement. But we have a supportive community. I've been playing this game since the run was like 1 hour and 15 minutes, and now it's down to 40 minutes, 40 seconds for the any percent. So I definitely recommend anybody that's interested in playing like a game with good comedy and just like overall, it's a fun time, especially casually. It's just such a good game. So even for the $20, I think it's worth that in and of itself. But outside of that, yeah, I mean, I typically stream whenever I can. I'm trying to get more consistent, but I try to do as close to daily as possible. And you can find me at Velcrafting on really any social media out there. So by all means, if I'm not on there, then probably not even taken. It's not like a high value name for people to scoop up. So Velcrafting's typically available.
It's high value. It's high value to me.
For me. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Vel, for running this. I'm going to post the link to Velcrafting's Twitch in our chat. So again, if you had fun with us here, make sure you follow Velcrafting on Twitch. As a final reminder to all of you, Awesome Games Done Quick 2024 will be live in person on January 14th through the 21st in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So the speedrun submissions close on September 10th, which is, less than a week away, and volunteer submissions close on the 18th of September. So you can use the command !AGDQ in our Twitch chat for more information on that. And if you're interested in volunteering for things like camera, check-in, tech, or any of our other volunteer positions, be sure to apply even if you don't have any experience. And if you are watching this on YouTube from the future, be sure to press the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and check us out at twitch.tv/gamesdonequick if you're interested in watching our shows live. That is going to wrap it up for tonight's episode of Time Capsule, my friends. I have been your host, Smooth Operative. Thank you all very much for tuning in. If you're interested in submitting your own speedrun to the show, you can type !Time Capsule in our Twitch chat for more information. And if you have any questions about the show, you can always find me here on Twitch at twitch.tv/smoothoperative. Tune in tomorrow for Mercy Kill, followed by Passion Project, all starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. Have a beautiful day or night, everyone, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.